Hello, Mixtresses and Mixters. This is Mixtress Ray. You're watching Mixtress Video. And today I'm going to do another pick a card reading. I'm assuming that at this point we're going to get separate, kind of a little bit of divergent readings. Also, there's going to be information about a giveaway, which I will put at the end. So first of all, kind of the focus of this reading is going to be about whether or not to be productive, and how to be productive if we're going to be. So this is primarily for people that find themselves at home right now or out of work. If you are one of those beautiful, wonderful, essential people right now, those of you that are, if you work in a convenience store or a grocery store, or you work in any kind of delivery service, if you're a postal worker, if you're a healthcare worker, if you are any of those people, you don't need to be productive at all right now. You're already doing it with your job. I want you to spend your free time exactly the way you want to spend it, because you are so important and you should get compensated better. Hopefully this whole situation, once it shakes out, that will happen. I hope that that is how this works out in the end. But I just, and you might resonate with one of these readings. I have not turned the cards over yet. I do not know what is under here. But I'm not saying that this reading is not for you, but I'm focusing on ways to be productive, whether or not we should be productive. One of these piles might be for you, essential workers, but the overall message for you is keep doing what you're doing, because it's so important. If any of you guys out there are listening that are able to throw a little extra support to people that are those essential workers that don't get to be out of work right now, that don't get to stay at home and kind of heal, if you can help them in any way, please do so. Okay, let's get into it. So I picked 4 cards from each. I wanted to pick kind of classic decks. I call them classic decks basically because they are 3 decks that I'm super familiar with. So as you can see, we've got Wild Unknown here. We've got the Smith-Waite here. This is the University Books edition. I just got it in the mail yesterday. And then Moonchild Tarot. So you can pick based on which of these decks you feel more drawn to. I'd say overall vibe, these 2 decks are going to be a little bit more brutal truth. Not necessarily brutal, but it's going to be bald truth in these decks, typically, is the vibe. Whereas this deck is going to be a little bit more gentle if you're looking for that option. Obviously, depending on which cards are there can make a little bit of a difference there. Like one of these might be more brutal than the other. We'll see. I'm going to use today this, I need to hold it like this. Even though the tripod's over there, I need to hold it like this because I'm going to flip it around so you see it from this point of view. Okay. I need to see what because of the fact that I'm doing this on a tripod. Okay. It's a little, I put a little piece of tape here so I'd know where I was going to be out of the shot when I placed cards. So sorry, you can kind of see some of that. Maybe if I adjust the shawl a little bit. Okay, so this is a perfume. I do not know who makes it. It's on Etsy. I don't know if it still exists, but it's based on the vampire in Buffy the Vampire Slayer that's named Drusilla. And I'm going to use this instead of Florida water today. It is, I don't remember all of the scents in it, but it definitely has night blooming jasmine and a few different types of mint. So I'm using this as kind of a cleansing spray. I'm running low on it. It is a perfume, but it's not super strong, so I can definitely spray it everywhere and it's fine. Okay. And then I chose blue as the candle today basically for cleansing, for calming of emotions, for meditation. I was looking up like different things that blue can symbolize in candle magic, because I hardly ever use blue. And one of the things that it came up with was reducing fever. So there could be somebody out there right now that might need that. If so, this is particularly for you, because I'm definitely not normally drawn to a blue candle. Okay, and this time, you guys, so sorry about the last reading. I think it was a collective reading. It might have been one of the private readings where you couldn't see the flame of the candle. So I will check the view to see if you can. And if you can't, I will fix it. And as far as the incense today, I'm using this beautiful Tibetan rope incense in patchouli. Because this is a small room and this is a strong incense, I might need to put it out if it gets like a little too smoky in here. But we're going to give it a try. Okay, let's light the candle with the intention of calming our emotions, smoothing out the waters, calming fevers, cleansing, meditation, focusing on what matters, focusing on the deep. And for some reason, I'm only bringing out one candle today, which is not like me. Okay, what do we got? Oh, yes, we can see it for sure, because it's pretty much an aerial shot. So you'll be able to see the candle the whole time. That's important to me. I like this Tibetan rope incense. I've never used it before, but I saw it on, I think the first time I saw it was on Moon and Nate, her channel. And I was like, what is that? She's burning a little piece of rope. Oh yeah, this is going to be real smoky. Okay, I'm going to set it kind of over here to the side. So you should still be able to see it, but that way it won't be going straight up into the lens, or actually that might be, we'll put it over here because the actual lens is right there. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. We'll see how long we can deal with it in a tiny, I'm essentially in a closet right now. It's just kind of, it's not like a walk-in closet, but it's definitely not like a huge closet. Okay. So I do have several oracle decks over here out of the shot that I'm going to pick oracle cards for each of these piles, but we're just going to start with pulling the piles, and then I'll pull the oracle cards for each pile as we go. So let's start with pile 1. So if you chose Wild Unknown, let's get into your reading now. And I chose 4 cards because I wanted to bring a little bit. When I think of the number 4, I think of fortress. I think of stability. I think about structure. So a way of kind of building a little bit of structure. And we got a 4. This 10 of Cups is coming up in almost every reading for me right now, especially collective readings. I think that the lesson in the 10 of Cups is not only like, normally you would think of the 10 of Cups as being like a super positive, happy card. And we're not in a super positive, happy time right now. But the interconnectedness of the 10 of Cups, the sort of idea of a family, and the fact that we're all a part of a family is kind of the bigger idea here. Okay, I want to see how smoky it looks on the screen. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. You can see the smoke, which is fun. Okay, that's all right. If it were me watching this, I wouldn't be annoyed with the smoke. I would enjoy watching the smoke, so hopefully you feel the same. So let's go ahead before I start getting real interpretive with this. I'm going to pull a card from Vintage Wisdom Oracle, which I almost always do for readings for other people. Okay, well, apparently I don't even have to shuffle. The eternal finding a place to put things during a reading struggle. The struggle is real. When you do readings out of a closet, the struggle is real. This is not a commercially available deck. This is one I collaged myself out. I call it the Magic and Medicine of Plants Oracle because I used all the images from a book called The Magic and Medicine of Plants, and I just glued them. I literally like used my typewriter to type out keywords and stuff and glued them onto the back of Crystal Tarot because that particular deck didn't work for me and it was missing some cards from it anyway. And I thought that these backs are pretty, so this one is not available, nor maybe someday I'll make a Magic and Medicine of Plants Oracle. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. Like, it would just be a simple little deck that I make on makeplayingcards.com or something, and I wouldn't charge too much for it. As long as I was able to make a tiny bit of profit and pay for shipping. Okay. Apparently you get 2. Devil's Bit, ferocity is the key word, and hurt sickle, slay what ails you. Interesting. So like warrior type plants there. Okay, and then I'm picking a card from the Everyday Witch Oracle because I find that this is a really good deck for like practical advice. I need to learn to like not set the cards out completely before I pick the oracles so that I have a surface to shuffle upon. I mean, I guess I could shuffle right on top of these. I'm trying to do like what fancy, I think of fancy card readers do. Oh, this is going to go out. This is not the right little holder for this. That's okay, we can relight it. Can just relight it at the beginning of each reading, even. Okay, this one is feeling like a good one. Meditation for clarity. That's what this entire reading is about. A meditation for clarity. So you guys are getting like the mission statement in right here at the beginning, this first pile. And I usually like to draw either or a goddess card or an animal spirit card, and today I chose goddess. I'm going to choose that one last, actually, and we're going to pick an Amenti Oracle, and this is kind of like an ethical, like moral advice sort of deck, the Amenti Oracle. So this is going to be, especially since you got balance from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle here, this will be good advice for how to maintain the balance that we need to have here. I was starting to say, and then I just got distracted by the incense or something. I feel like fancy tarot readers, they shuffle like this. So I've been trying to do that lately, especially with my like thicker decks that are harder to shuffle. Because if you do it this way, it's easier to do. I really like doing it the Violent Bridge style way. I do the best I can. Okay, so this gives me a pretty good picture. I guess we do need to pull a goddess. Sort of who's going to be watching over you during this time. Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth. I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. So the story about Inanna, the myth about Inanna, I don't remember all of the details, but you can definitely look that up for yourself if you're interested. But it has something to do with, she goes to the underworld to confront her sister or to save her sister, or it has something to do with a sister. And as she's going through like trials and going through different like levels of hell or the underworld, she has to take off an item of clothing at each turn or something. And I think the idea was to kind of like humiliate her and expose her through this practice, whoever was doing it to her. But I mean, this is my vague recollections and understanding of this particular myth at this moment, so don't take it with a huge grain of salt. But the general idea was that she wasn't embarrassed whenever she was naked. She did what she had to do to rescue her sister, and she learned a valuable lesson about herself during this process. And so that's definitely something that we can think about here. So let's see, what do we got here? We got 2 swords, 4 of swords, and 8 of swords. I mean, this might sound so fucking obvious. We got 2 cups and 2 swords. But whoever chose pile 1, what you're mainly dealing with right now is, I feel like you're oscillating between, you know, you're having some moments of feeling some sacred rest. Like you are really feeling like, this is probably, most people that are drawn to this particular pile probably are off of work right now because you got this 4 of swords. You probably, that's my like mental health day off card. And it's really becoming a mental health month, you know, or mental health couple of months. Like we're really in it right now. And the general idea of the 4 of swords is also about taking a day off during a battle. Like you've already gone through part of a battle and there's gonna be more, but you're taking a day off, you're having a rest from it. So that you definitely have moments of feeling like, okay, I'm resting. I'm taking some time off. It's for the good of the community. That's okay. You're having some moments of nostalgia, which makes me think that part of what you're doing to take care of yourself right now is like maybe you're binge watching a show that you're extremely familiar with. Maybe you're watching old movies that you're extremely familiar with. Maybe you're reading books that you're extremely familiar with. If you're not doing that, I would say that that is something that would be very beneficial to you right now. I would do that. If you're not already doing that, I would do that. This is definitely reinforcing that there's not really anything that you need to be doing right now, except keeping yourself sane. That sort of balance thing. And this, I see and accept all that I am. I would even like take this a little bit literally, and like if you are a person that has had moments in your life where you have been comforted by the act of maybe just literally getting naked and confronting yourself, like maybe in the mirror, or just like doing tasks around your house naked. This could be metaphorical for you. For some of you, it's metaphorical. It's not like literally getting naked, but for some of you, it is literally getting naked. If you've ever been comforted by that, like there's this, what did she call it? I was watching like a Betty Page documentary at one point, and she would like lay out in the sun and stuff. She didn't call it sunbathing. She called it an air bath. Just being naked. She called it an air bath. So if you need to take an air bath right now in order to feel a little less trapped, do it. You know, if you feel safe and comfortable in your home environment, if you're able to do that, do it. If you're not, find some way to emulate that feeling. Maybe just taking a bath, literally. Spending some time alone with yourself, naked. You know, I feel like that is kind of a more literal interpretation, but I feel like that's going to resonate with some of you. And that will help bring some clarity. So meditation for clarity, I think this is an air card, because this particular deck, the Everyday Witch Oracle, is separated into elements. This one is one of the ones that confuses me because she's sitting next to a pool of water, but I think it's an air card because of like the coloration. The pinks and purples are usually associated with the air cards in that particular deck. And she's burning the sage bundle over there. So I would say, like, if there's advice for what you should be doing right now, it is taking care of yourself with something that you're extremely familiar with. Like if it's a show you like to rewatch, a movie you like to rewatch, a book you like to reread. If you haven't done that for yourself yet, do it. If you already are doing that, you're doing exactly what you need to do to take advantage of this community moment of Four of Swords. This Eight of Swords tells me that you are definitely having some moments where you feel trapped right now. You feel trapped inside. You feel trapped inside your head. But an Eight of Swords moment is always a moment that you can pull yourself out of. And especially with seeing these, like the ferocity and the slayer, these are like slayer plants over here. You know, this hurt sickle. This tells me that you are a fucking warrior and you absolutely have the capacity to balance yourself out. That is not a problem. You do need a few moments of like really maximizing on the meditation aspect, the restorative aspect, learning how to accept yourself. I feel like you're having a moment where like spending all this extra time alone at home is a great opportunity for you to really restore your personal sense of balance. I think that this reading is for a lot of people, so your mileage will vary, but I think most of the people that pick this pile, I would assume that your situation in life is that you live alone, possibly in a small space, like a tiny apartment in Brooklyn or something, and you're having these moments of really feeling trapped. But you need to remind yourself that those things that you're doing for yourself, those things that you're rereading, rewatching, whatever those things are, that's the right step. And you need to remind yourself, I'm doing the best that I can. And for some of us, the best that we can is, you know, like all I fucking did today was take a bath. And it was a sad bath, and I listened to The Cure, and I drank 3 glasses of wine while I was in the tub. But it helped balance me out a little bit. You know, I've had those moments for sure during this whole quarantine situation. But I think right where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, even though sometimes it's making you feel trapped. And it's just kind of a waiting period, unfortunately. That's where we are. But you're going to be restoring a pretty hefty sense of balance in yourself during this time, for sure. Just remind yourself that you are a warrior. You're going to get through this. You have all the resources that you need within you to get through this, and you're doing the best that you can. And sometimes the best that you can doesn't look great, and maybe you're judging yourself too harshly, but please don't. You're doing the best that you can. Okay, let's move on to pile 2. Where is my pile 2? So this is for those of you that chose the University Press tarot cards. I just messed with the whole shot, didn't I? Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. Here we go. Sorry guys, my tripod is over here, so I can't, and I use my phone, so I don't have like a view screen. I mean, I have the view screen of my phone, of course, but I have to like actually get up and look at it. Okay, so first I would like to pull out the tarot cards. What is going on? Okay. for, just in case you didn't see, those of you that skipped just to your pile, in the beginning of the first reading, I explained that I'm picking 4 cards for this particular, for the tarot cards represented in each of these piles, because I think of 4 as being the number of fortress and stability and structure, because hopefully we're all spending more time in our personal fortresses. Hopefully we're all happy being there. There are a lot of people that are not happy with their home situation right now, and I feel for them so much. So much. Okay, so these are your tarot cards, and I'm going to pick mini oracle decks, mini oracle cards for you. This is the Amenti Oracle, and this is going to kind of be the kind of moral and ethical advice for your current situation that you find yourself in at these quarantines. No, it's not coming. It's not coming yet. Not coming yet. This one. I relate in peace. Also going to pick a Vintage Wisdom Oracle card. I pretty much always use this deck for client readings and for these pick-a-pile readings. So you've seen me use this deck many times because I like to use it. It's such a great deck for just a basic keyword that we need to focus on. Faith. So we got like faith and peace. I feel like these are the 2 things that this guy is juggling. Peace and faith. Okay, make sure. I'm going to pick one from the Everyday Witch Oracle. This is a good one as far as like practical everyday advice. I didn't mean to use the word everyday in a deck that has that in the title of the deck, but it really is. This is a great deck for just like, you know, practical advice. What should I be doing with my time right now? This is basically the 4 of Swords card in the Everyday Witch Oracle. Hibernation and regeneration. I should definitely read that because this text is tiny. You may not be able to see it. What else do we have? What have I not picked? Oh, this one it's the backs of the Crystal Tarot, which I no longer have because I collaged over part of the deck to make this plant deck for myself. So this is the only place you can get this particular Oracle deck because this is the only copy that exists in the universe. I call it the Magic and Medicine of Plants Oracle because I used all the images from a book called The Magic and Medicine of Plants. That was more than one. Okay. Okay, it's this one. This one right here. Healing. Oh, okay. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, what are we missing? We're missing the Goddess. Goddess card. I'm choosing from the Divine Feminine Oracle today. I feel like this one's going to be kind of an important one for you since you got faith. And this is a very it's almost a Christian-based goddess deck. Like in a good way. Like this is a person that has Isis, Goddess of Magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Okay, let's see. What can we... The fact that you have 2 major arcana cards tells me that the way that you're dealing with this particular quarantine situation is it's a big deal to you. This situation is revealing a lot of things that might have been in shadow. Possible aspects of yourself, aspects of other people, aspects of your relationships. there's some pretty major shifts going on. Major things are being illuminated right now for you. But sort of the practical reminder here is this is a time of hibernation and regeneration. The presence of this card tells me that most people that picked pile number 2 are going to be in a personal situation where you are off from work, staying home, and you're having to juggle a little bit more than, like, you're not just super comfortable being at home right now. You know, you're still getting a lot of shit done. You're still checking some boxes. Maybe you're cleaning things that you haven't cleaned in a while. Maybe you are working from home. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like, you're home right now more than you usually are, but you're working. So maybe for some of you, this might mean that you are like learning how to homeschool your kids, or you're doing a job from home that you haven't really done before, or it has shifted. There's like a change in what you're doing from home. You're working hard right now, I think. And these little reminders here, healing, hibernation, regeneration, tells me that maybe you should focus a little bit more on taking a break where you can. I think that's the brutal truth. The fact that the Queen of Swords is next to these cards, and she's pointing towards them with a sword. She is kind of like, the directionality is telling me that there are some things that, in order for you to truly maximize your hibernation, regeneration, and healing at this time, there are some things in your life you're going to want to cut out. And maybe you're already in the process of deciding which thing to cut out, which thing to set down, but this time is really illuminating for you what those things are. And it's difficult. Strength is always difficult. Like, it's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful lesson to learn. It's one that we need to learn, one that we're happy to learn. But there's something that's light is being shed on with this current situation that you're going to need to let go of in order to properly heal and regenerate. Like, in order to have this gorgeous cave moment where you're resting and you're healing before you go back out into the world, there's something that you are making a pro and con. If you haven't made a pro and con list about whatever this thing is for you personally, it could be a relationship, it could be literally making space in your home by getting rid of stuff. I mean, not a lot of people are probably thinking about getting rid of stuff right now, but I feel like for some of you, that is the case. For some of you, it's like, I'm home a lot more lately, and I suddenly realize how much of a baby hoarder I've become, and I need to get rid of some stuff. There's definitely something you need to cut out of your life. If the Queen of Swords is here, she's here to tell you something you don't want to hear. She's here to reveal a truth that you haven't been able to see. And it's going to be hard, but it's going to be wonderful. Like, anything that you learn in a strength moment is something that you need to learn, and it's something that your life is going to be so much better for learning. As far as Isis, I feel like Isis does kind of show up when you need extra mothering, protection, support. So the fact that she showed up, and even though the subtitles here are about sexual energy, I don't really think of Isis in that way. That, I mean, if you do, great, go with it. I think of Isis as kind of that Mother Mary. I think of her as the OG Mother Mary. Before Mother Mary existed, it was Isis. I think her presence here shows me that you are protected. And you have that sort of beautiful mothering protection energy, and faith and peace being here. This is sort of like the sacred trifecta of you have peace, faith, and love and protection. You have it all. It's there for when you choose, when you make that pro and con list and you decide what needs to be cut out of your life, and you learn those lessons of strength, and you embrace the fact that things are being revealed right now that you need to confront. You have the foundation to move towards the healing, hibernation, and regeneration over here. You have everything you need to make the difficult choices right now. And unfortunately, I think there is going to be a difficult choice for you. But once you make it, you're going to be in such a beautiful place. Okay, let's move on to pile 3 with the Moonchild Tarot. I have a little bit of this incense left, but I am going to relight it for you guys. It burned the longest for pile 2, so I think they needed it the most, but we'll see. I don't even know what these cards are. So I picked 4 cards from each of the tarot decks because I think of 4. Numerology is kind of important to me. I don't know a whole lot about it. Most of the time I just make shit up about it, but I think that works too. I think of 4 as being fortress, stability, protection, structure. So I picked 4. There's that 10 of Cups again. There's that 10 of Cups again. And there's the Moon again. The Moon was in pile 2 and 10 of Cups was in pile 1. So you guys are sort of like a synthesis of all the lessons we've learned today. That's pretty beautiful. Okay, before I start interpreting, let's pull your oracle card. So I'm pulling a card to sort of use as a keyword focus for the reading with the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Just one of my very favorite. I actually don't use this oracle for myself very often, but I always use it in these pick-a-pile readings and in all of my client readings. I always use it. Grace. We got faith in the last one and grace in this one. Very interesting. These are kind of trigger words for me because I grew up in Christianity and it wasn't a good thing. This is the Divine Feminine Oracle, and this is me pulling a goddess for you, and 2 cards came out, so we are going to honor that. You have 2 goddesses right now. Oh, one of them isn't technically a goddess, Sappho. Sappho is like a figure from poetry, I think, or was she a real person? She might have been an actual poet, but let's just read what it says on here. Sappho is the poetess. I love every inch of my body, and I love the women in my life fiercely. And then we have Thecla, the prophetess of true power. I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. Gorgeous. Let me just check the shot, make sure all these cards are totally in there. They are. Okay, good. All right. Awesome. Okay. This particular deck, sorry you can't get it if you're interested in it. These are the backs of the Crystal Tarot. And this is an oracle deck that I created called the Magic and Medicine of Plants Oracle. There we go. And we got Anise. You are strange and beautiful. So there's sort of an appreciation here, kind of. Like, I love every inch of my body. You are strange and beautiful. There's an aspect of this where you are learning at this moment to accept yourself, your physical self, in a way that maybe you haven't before. So you're benefiting from these quarantines in a certain respect. What have I not done? Everyday Witch Oracle. So I'm going to pull one. Everyday Witch Oracle, we're sort of using that as practical, everyday advice. I want to paint like a little bit of a portrait of what you're going through right now and provide some validation, but also kind of a focus on what you should be doing with your time right now. Take that with a grain of salt. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you should be doing. Going with the flow. So you got Two Cups, Moon, which is also water related, Death, which is also water related because that's a Scorpio card, and Moon is Pisces, and Knight of Cups is Pisces. Ten of Cups is Pisces too, isn't it? I think it is. I could be wrong about that, but I think Ten of Cups is also a Pisces card. So like that, for some of you, you literally are Pisces. For others, this is almost like, I feel like you guys are having a real spiritual transition right now. Ten of Cups being at the top, the forefront, tells me that your feeling of connectivity to your culture is huge. And just the mere fact that you have cards from both of the other readings. So I would say that if you didn't watch the messages from pile 1 and pile 2, if you feel like checking them out, do it, because your connection to everyone else, this is more the like community reading than any of the others that we've done so far today. Your message is everyone else's message, and everyone else's message is yours. You guys are very connected. And there's been a general theme also of loving your body right now. And this is a water related card, and forgiving. I mean, this is more of an air vibe, but you are strange and beautiful. You've got this gorgeous dance with death. And Grace, these are both very dancey kind of cards. This is very much, I mean, obviously she's a poetess, and she wrote a lot of like, I think she wrote like lesbian poetry. Like she was literally in love with her friends, and she just appreciated them, and it was just this gorgeous energy of loving everyone. Not only do you are you learning to love yourself, but you're learning to love everyone else. There's just like a gorgeous message of love, like forgiveness and love and going with the flow, and you're almost like finding a way to appreciate the beauty in everyone and everything right now. Like you're just like transcending everything. Like in pile 2, the Moon was more about illuminating something that it's time to let go of. But for you, it's sort of like you're already on this journey of, I feel like you might feel a little bit guilty right now because you're actually in a really good place. You feel connected to everyone. I think I might have said this in the last collective reading I did. It's possible it's the same person watching in that last collective reading. This message was kind of for you too. I feel like you have the capacity to really harness your creativity and bring love to your community and positivity and light. If you are feeling that sort of like gorgeous love and forgiveness, and you actually do have the power to help people right now. In fact, you could be, I'm not seeing a lot of like time off situations here either. I would almost say that you, and obviously your mileage varies because this reading is for a lot of different people, but I think it's more likely that somebody that picked pile number 3 is not off work right now. You are actually doing your divine calling right now. That's possible you're a health worker, possible you're a postal worker or a grocery store worker, or just like you have this sense of purpose that you feel of what you are doing right now, and you're able to bring joy to people's lives. You're able to make them feel beautiful and loved. You have the power to really bring light to people right now. And this is somewhat of a transformation for you. I feel like you almost feel like you're in a better place than you were before this situation happened. And you need to forgive yourself for having that thought, because we all are transitioning right now. Everyone is transitioning right now. We're going through a real strength tower moment, and we're going to come out on the other side of it in a good place. We are. But you in particular are already feeling those good vibes, and you feel kind of guilty about it because people are sad right now. But it's okay to go with the flow of where this change, this beautiful community change, is taking us. It's uncovering a lot of truths that you probably knew before all this shit happened. It's almost like people right now are starting to catch up to where you've been all along. And you're able to really push people forward and pull them through this. And just keep doing what you're doing, basically. I feel like you're already bringing a lot of joy. There could be dancing involved or yoga. There's some definite like beautiful movement, and you're doing it. You know, this is you in your little boat. Go with the flow in those moments that you feel like what you're doing might not be the right thing because people around you are in a dark place, but you are going to help pull us out of it. You are literally essential. For some of you, that is manifesting as creativity from home. For some of you, that's manifesting as just like working at a fucking pizza shop. You're bringing pizza to people right now, and that's very, very, very important. You are, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it feels small or not, it's big. You're making an impact. Or, yeah, you're just sort of romancing the world right now. You are this Knight of Cups. You're sort of like emotionally saving people in some way. Even if it's like something that you thought was little, it's not little, it's big. You are bringing joyful karma and change. And you are embracing this moment to really, like, I almost feel like with some of you, like your business in whatever way is really taking off at this moment. Like, yeah, I think whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing it, keep spreading that joy and love. And it's going to be, sometimes people are going to have a hard time taking it. You know, like, people don't like to see the death card. People don't like to see the moon card. The truths that are being unveiled, the changes that are happening, they're for the good of the entire community. Even though it doesn't feel like it, it really is going to come out on the other side. And the way that you are personally dealing with the world is with grace. And you have incredible power to bring that light. Like, you are an emotional balm right now for everyone. That's pretty crazy. I'm curious to know, like, for y'all that are watching this, are you a Pisces? Are you a Scorpio? I feel like I'm getting a real water sign vibe here. And yeah, it feels really beautiful. So this is a good message to end with, I think. Gonna leave this 10 of Cups out because that is just the fucking card for the collective right now. We are all a family. We are all one. It's a big deal that we are where we are. and hopefully it's gonna shake out in a good way, and I really believe that it is. Oh, throwing cards all over the place. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I forgot I was gonna talk about that. Let me make sure that everything's good with the camera. Are we still recording and all that shit? Yes, okay. So, for the giveaway, I am doing a reading giveaway. It will be for an hour reading. Any type of reading of your choice, or if you don't want to choose a particular format, I'll just do like my Ankh spread, which is, it's just a variation of the Celtic Cross, so it's a great 10 card spread. So the way that I'm going to do it is I will have a post on my Instagram. So let me have a Sharpie and a thing to write on. Let me write down my Instagram, and then it'll be like, it'll be the like most recent entry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a card. In fact, I'll probably choose like 3 cards. And those 3 cards, so what you'll do, okay, so you'll go to my Instagram. It'll be like the most recent post about a giveaway. It'll probably be a picture of this right here. And you will comment with a card. So if you think I'm going to choose the 10 of Cups, then you will comment 10 of Cups, and try to pick one that, you know, I'm not going to have like a shit ton of people commenting because I'm not super popular. So it'll be easy for you to like sort through the comments most likely and make sure that you don't pick the same card that someone else picked. So if someone else picked 10 of Cups, then you could pick whatever you want. Draw from your own tarot decks at home. And I'm going to draw from my tarot deck. I'm going to draw 3 cards just in case somebody doesn't choose the first one that I choose. So that way, if you guessed 10 of Cups and I chose 10 of Cups, then you win the reading, if that makes sense. That's the way that I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to randomly pick the cards. So, yeah. And actually, let's do that right now. So you won't see what the cards are, of course. Okay, I'm going to pick 3 cards. These are the 3. Okay, and I will, let's see, I'll probably keep it up for about a week, and then I will contact you if you won, and then you can give me what I'll probably do. I mean, I'll contact you and let you know that you won, but once I record and you can tell me like what questions you have for your reading or what type of reading you want, it'll be a 1-hour reading though, either way. So, giveaway for 1 hour tarot. I need to like make this prettier before I put it on the, it's already on the internet, but before I put it on Instagram, or probably I won't. But anyway, just guess what card I chose. Which of these 3 cards? And if somebody picks this one, that'll be the winner. But if no one picks that one, then I'll go on to the next, and so forth. So yeah, that's all you have to do is comment on the my Instagram with which card you think I'm going to pick, and then you will win the giveaway. Yes. Okay. So it's just a really clunky way to describe that, but the details will be in my Instagram post, of course, if that sounded confusing, because I wouldn't blame you if it did. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.